Russia, Siberia, a tough mega transport through 1,000 kilometers of frozen snow and ice. There's only one way to reach your destination, the ice road. It doesn't forgive mistakes. It's treacherous, it's unpredictable, a life-threatening adversary that has left many fractured and broken.
We could slip off here any second.
And then there is the biting cold, relentless and without mercy for both man and machine.
We don't have a spare tire for the trailer anymore.
An icy, brutal battle today on Mega Transports. The Kolymar mountain range in eastern Russia, an inhospitable frozen landscape with temperatures as low as 50 degrees below. Only in winter, when the snow buries the underlying mudflats, is this region accessible at all, just 4 months a year. Far away from civilization on the ice road, a failed engine or mechanical fault could place you firmly into the clutch of death, the cold claiming you in minutes. The surrounding mountains, up to 2,000 meters high, make this almost endless stretch a deadly trap. Extremely difficult for normal trucks to handle, and for a mega transport, it's very nearly impossible. Starting point, Magadan, the only major city within a 1,700-kilometer radius. Located on the coast, it's the only supply center for the entire region. In the winter months, Magadan is the only gateway to this otherwise isolated region, which is only accessible from January to April. That's why all goods stored here must be sent to the hinterland as quickly as possible. One of the biggest businesses in the area involves transports to the gold mines. That's because the mine operators need a lot of heavy equipment delivered by sea in order to extract the mineral resources from the ground. Sometimes what they need is a colossal machine like Komatsu D 475A. It costs 1.2 million euros. It's one of the biggest bulldozers in the world, 11.5 meters long and 4.5 meters tall. And almost 5.5 meters wide. It weighs in at a hefty 86 tons, far more than the world's heaviest tank. Driving a rig this big along the ice road, the smallest mistake can be fatal. The empty weight of the truck alone is over 100 tons. His task is to get the valuable cargo to the gold mine as quickly as possible. Denis Afaritsevich Rafikov. The ice road trucker stays calm in the face of it all and quietly accepts the challenge.
We have experience in transporting cargo, such as the 475. We know our way around really big machines.
Denis's first job, loading the bulldozer. To reduce the weight to a minimum, the team transports the bulldozer without its scoop. But that changes its center of gravity. It can easily start to wobble. What's more, the bulldozer is just as wide as the trailer. That means there's no room for error. If it's not exactly centered, the machine tilts. Given all these considerations, the driver has to steer his 86 tons of bulldozer directly over the rear tires of the truck without damaging them. In order to prevent this kind of damage, driver Denis uses a typically effective Russian method, packing old tires in between as buffers. And finished. As the front of the bulldozer raises up sky high during this maneuver, the driver is essentially steering blind. With the help of verbal commands, Denis navigates the Colossus onto the trailer with maximum precision.
It's really heavy.
All the equipment is already at the load limit. The steel monster is now precisely in position.
Easy, easy, easy. Stop, stop.
Everybody's getting ready for a more than risky mega transport, 1,000 kilometers through the Siberian tundra. The loaded truck measures 22.5 meters in length, with a total weight of 138 tons. Ice Road trucker Dennis is worried about the one certain danger during the 5-day trip.
There can be problems with the wheels, there can be problems with the axle bearings, or with the air brakes, because the cargo is so incredibly heavy.
Spare lines, workshops, rescue services of any kind. You won't find any of these on the Ice Road. From now on, the truckers are on their own.
I'm just checking the tires again. We'll probably have to pump them up. Some are pretty flat already.
Too little air pressure quickly leads to cracks in the side walls and can even damage the carcass. Worst case scenario, the tire bursts. On the Ice Road, the stakes are always high, requiring at least 2 trucks to drive in convoy. The support vehicle is carrying the bulldozer's scoop along with some lighter equipment. Dennis's partner is a relative newcomer, a greenhorn, Ivan Alexeyevich Chernyuk, nicknamed Vanya, has only been on the region's ice roads for 3 years.
On the road, we can't afford any problems. Everything must run perfectly.
The mega transport route leads from the Russian Magadan through the tundra of Siberia for a total of 1,000 kilometers. Over snow-covered mountain passes, temporary bridges, and unpaved ice roads. The destination is located between the rivers Kolymar and Omolan. The gold mine is in the middle of nowhere. The mine is basically still hibernating, but in a few days, this year's digging will begin. And if the transport and bulldozer don't make it there in time, the mine could lose an estimated ton of gold this season. It's already the end of March. The harsh and unforgiving Siberian winter is coming to an end. That's good for the mine, but dangerous for the truckers. If it thaws prematurely, the surrounding ice roads turn into an impassable swamp overnight. The mega transport has to start as soon as possible in the middle of the night. Dennis gives his rig a final check, as does his colleague Vanya. With a cargo worth 1.2 million euros, they can't afford to take any risks.
We can leave now. We'll have to check again on the way.
And because of the intense time pressure, they'll be performing those checks at full speed. The driver of the accompanying vehicle is responsible for keeping an eye on things. He's an experienced ice road veteran. Transport supervisor Alexander Valentinovich Sabinsky has known the ice road for over 20 years, with all of its lurking pitfalls and dangers.
I am mainly responsible for the downhill stretch in the mountain passes. I have to check constantly whether it is slippery and whether the vehicles or the cargo are damaged.
10 p.m. The mega transport is setting out. They want to cover 100 kilometers by dawn. This is the easiest stage of the trip. All in all, the truckers want to make the 1,000 kilometers to the mine in just 5 days. As expected, there is hardly any traffic at night. The streets are still clear. But even Greenhorn Vanya knows what soon awaits him and the others.
Once we leave the city, the road gets a lot worse. So right after we get out of here, in fact. But for now, everything's fine.
It's not only the road and the approaching thaw that puts the drivers under pressure. There's also the financial factor. The ice road truckers earn money almost exclusively in the winter season. The more tours they make, the more they collect to get themselves and their families through another year. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the convoy reaches its first destination as planned. But just barely. Dennis's truck is suddenly losing antifreeze, and at these Arctic temperatures, antifreeze is essential. Dennis tries to repair the damage, but under no circumstances can the engine be switched off. Otherwise, the drivetrain will freeze over completely within a few minutes, and our drivers will be in real trouble.
The hose is old, so the pipe couldn't withstand the pressure any longer. But now everything's okay again.
Hose exchanged. Then it's time to sleep. In the trucks, with the engine running around the clock. For just 6 hours. 900 of the 1,000 kilometers are still ahead of the mega transport. Time to enter the next leg, the so-called Road of Bones. Prisoners of war helped build this road in the 1950s under Stalin. Nearly all of them paid for it with their lives and are all lying in rest, buried by the roadside. In the next 2 days, the drivers want to cover 400 kilometers and overcome 5 icy mountain passes in the process, with up to 6.5% gradient. Their next stop is an essential destination in every respect, the only petrol station on the whole ice road. In the mountains, the weather changes fast. Forecasts are notoriously unreliable. Visibility, snowfall, slipperiness. The elements are highly unpredictable. Within a few minutes, quickly making the seemingly peaceful landscape impassable, even in clear moments. In order to withstand any worst-case scenarios, the convoy follows a fixed order. In front, the truck with a bulldozer, then the support vehicle, and at the rear, the much lighter truck with a scoop. Weight, braking distance, experience all play a decisive role. In addition, Supervisor Valentinovich checks the tires again and again, while the rig is moving.
If the tires get too hot, they change color. They get dark when they lose air. Right now, they're all the same color. That means everything's okay. But I still have to keep a constant eye on them.
The importance of these checks is quickly demonstrated. From time to time, Supervisor Valentinovich checks the tires not only visually, but also with his ears. Thanks to his experience, Valentinovich can tell whether something is wrong by the noise of the tires, axles, and engine alone.
Sounds good, at least so far.
Then, the convoy reaches the first foothills. The trucks have to slow down and increase the distance between them to over 100 meters to prevent a crash on ice.
The road has become very narrow now, and this stretch particularly so. I'm activating the differential lock now. Vanya, I'm going up very slowly now.
Okay, I'll wait for you.
The differential lock distributes the force evenly across all tires. This prevents wheel spin, which would cause the truck to fishtail. But it also means that ice road trucker Dennis will make slow progress with his 86-ton load. And the day is already drawing to a close. Finally, over the hill. Now, it's downhill again. All brakes are at full lock. They hold out at first. But after a while, they really start glowing.
We're stopping now to check the wheels. Vanya says there's smoke coming out. It may actually be the brakes.
Brakes and tires. These are the most dangerous weaknesses of all, and something is smoking.
I smell something.
It's hot. Really hot.
Yeah, the brake's smoking.
The constant high load through the mountainous landscape was too much for one of the brakes. Unless they get the damage under control, they'll be late. And that's not all. The gold mine needs the loaded bulldozer, and the truckers need their financial bonus. In every respect, delay means failure.
Lock the brake shoes. They just got too hot. I need to release them. But that also means that we now have one less brake on this axle.
Sounds minor, but with a total weight of over 130 tons, it plays a decisive role for this mega transport. Disconnecting the brake is a risky solution that nobody in the team is happy with. And yet, they must keep moving ever forward. It's the only way to complete the transport. It's all or nothing.
If we hadn't done that, the brakes would have gotten so hot that the wheels would have started to burn.
Soon after that, they have to face the next pass. The clear sky is misleading. In the past few days, it has snowed heavily. Too heavily, in fact. The heavy transporter gradually runs out of power on the smooth surface.
Now we have to unload the bulldozer. This ascent is too slippery. The following descent too steep. With that bulldozer, my truck would never make it. We could even slide down the slope.
Here's the problem. When driving on a slope, there's a thing called slope downforce. This force literally pulls the truck down with up to 9 tons. In addition to strong engine power, you need, above all, maximum grip. This is a tremendous challenge on a Siberian ice road. And even when the ascent is over, there is still the downhill run, where the opposite force takes effect. The weight shifts and threatens to overload the brakes. The only thing that can be done is unload the bulldozer for the entire section, thereby reducing the weight as much as possible. Supervisor Valentinovich also prescribes snow chains. Ice Road trucker Dennis obeys the instructions. But colleague Vanya doesn't. He ignores the warnings, breaks formation, more than a little impatient. The greenhorn just passes him by. Dennis, on the other hand, is sticking to the plan for the time being, which means getting the bulldozer off his truck. The biggest problem, besides time, is that the bulldozer has to go over the tires of the trailer again. The enormous load is the lesser evil, because there's simply no alternative. It's the only way to avoid
Look over there!
a life-threatening risk.
He didn't put the fucking chains on!
While Dennis and the rest of the team unload the bulldozer, Greenhorn Vanya is stuck with his heavy-duty transporter. The team is trying to make the best of a bad situation and wants to send the bulldozer with its towing device towards the mountain.
We'll tie this up and then we'll go.
Meanwhile, Supervisor Valentinovich is already driving the escort vehicle up the hill.
It's much too slippery. The wheels are just spinning. He should have put the chains on from the beginning. But he just kept going without them, and now he's stuck.
But then, defying expectations.
He's moving again.
The rebellious Greenhorn Vanya's tires are digging their way back into the snow, little by little, getting some grip again. At a walking pace, the heavy-duty truck works its way meter by meter towards the summit. At the top, he has to face the wrath of Supervisor Valentinovich. If you don't follow your instructions, you're off the team. Driver Vanya is humbled and changes his tune.
It has become too warm and the road is now extremely slippery. It makes sense to finally put on the snow chains. So far the road was okay, but for the rest of the way I'll definitely need them.
That's for sure, because this hill crest was just the beginning. But the truckers still have to overcome the Kolymar Mountains, which are up to 2,000 meters high, to move heavy equipment to one of the remotest gold mines in Siberia. The icy cold guarantees that an engine breakdown means a quick, frosty death. It's a hell of a job on the road of bones.
It's better now.
Currently, the bulldozer is fighting its way up the pass on its own. It may be slow, but thanks to its 670 horsepower, it masters the climb effortlessly, albeit at just 4 kilometers per hour. It sticks to the outermost edge of the road because the monster chains tear open the snow cover of the road, which would be a catastrophe for all the vehicles following behind it. Once the broken snow freezes again, no truck will be able to get over it. That's why the bulldozer is leading the column, for the time being. The trucks have to flatten all the craters in the snow immediately afterwards. A little later, at the foot of the pass, our driver Dennis and Supervisor Valentinovich have to maneuver the 86-ton bulldozer back onto the heavy truck. This is an enormous load. For a few seconds, the weight reaches almost 11.5 tons on every single tire truck. There's a possibility they could blow out during this maneuver. The damage usually begins with hairline cracks barely visible to the naked eye. So by the time the damage is recognizable, it's already done.
Loading's done. Everything seems to have worked out. Now we can move on. The mine is waiting for us.
The first real catastrophe during this mega transport is still to come. Only 4 more mountain passes remain to be conquered. In other words, unload 4 times, negotiate the pass, and reload. In order to reach the next destination in time, the men will drive the rest of the way without breaks, day and night. Then, after a total of 3 days so far, just before the fuel runs out,
only 5 kilometers to the gas station. Today we drove 175 kilometers. Strong performance. Nevertheless, we didn't make it in daylight. But we have to go there. We have to refuel urgently, especially the bulldozer.
The destination, where they will enjoy a well-deserved night's sleep, seems to be within reach. But then, a serious breakdown, just short of the gas station, cuts our team to the bone. The constant loading and unloading was too much for the truck tires. The first one is blown out.
The bulldozer is blocking the tire with its weight. That's why I just can't pull it out. The bulldozer has to be unloaded again.
A mega transport through the ice desert of Siberia. In the middle of the night, the 86-ton giant once again rolls over the tires of the truck. At relentless temperatures. And the Siberian gold mine is expecting the bulldozer in just 2 days' time.
At minus 35 degrees, the oil in the jack has become too viscous. I have to warm it up. Otherwise, I can't jack up the trailer and remove the wheel.
Trucker Dennis's fingers and feet have long since gone numb with the cold. Everything's freezing. Their bodies, the trucks, even the lug nuts. Under these circumstances, a simple tire change means risking their own lives. Dennis and his colleagues need 1 hour just to remove the wheel. Then, the next problem arises. The tire can't be salvaged. And
we no longer have a spare wheel for the trailer. We only have some left for the truck. And they're too big.
another flat tire. And there is no suitable replacement. The team has no choice but to improvise.
It hissed when we unloaded the bulldozer. That's when it broke the tire. Now we must try everything to replace it.
But there's not a single matching tire left. All the rest are simply too big. The team has no choice but to mount an oversized truck tire on the trailer. Now Dennis and his team just have to defrost everything with the Bunsen burner, adjust the air pressure as best they can, and then, as soon as possible, drive on. At first, it seems to be working. Although the tire is actually much too big, the wheel bolts fit. Meanwhile, at 11 p.m. and in total darkness, temperatures have dropped to almost minus 40 degrees Celsius. After 2 hours and close to complete exhaustion, the team makes it. Now for the hard part, get the bulldozer back on the truck. The first attempt fails. By this time, they have all long exceeded their limits. They are beginning to wonder why they do this to themselves.
Pull it over a little. I'll never get it up like this.
Nerves are shattered. Everyone is beyond exhausted and frozen stiff. They can hardly concentrate, and tempers wear thin. They are really putting everything to the test. The cold, the equipment, their physical and mental abilities. Everything is at the absolute top limit. Anyone who wants to make it through the Siberian ice has to do one thing above all: stay calm, or the road claims another victim. It takes the men a total of 6 attempts and a long, cold hour wasted. Finally, the bulldozer is back on the truck. Dennis wants to continue immediately.
We did it. That was really difficult. It's so dark you can't see a thing.
After midnight, the convoy sets off again to stagger through the last 5 kilometers of this leg of the trip. The truckers eagerly await the welcoming lights of the lone petrol station. The supply point, specially built by the mining company, is located in a place that ordinary mortals never see, out in the frozen nowhere. The only fuel pump far and wide is free. No big surprise there. It pumps agonizingly slowly, but that doesn't matter at this moment. It gives ice road trucker Dennis a chance to take a little break. While the rig's fuel is filled 5 times slower than at a normal truck station, with 16.5 liters of diesel per minute.
We're filling up. Everything's fine. We'll need about 1,000 liters so we can keep going. And then there's the bulldozer, which probably needs another 500 liters.
That means a forced break of 2.5 hours and some enjoyable relaxation for the team. Minimal sleep, maximum diesel, and a very meager breakfast. That's all they can manage before the 3rd and most difficult stage of the mega transport. Because from now on, it's over the unpaved part of the ice road. The last 500 kilometers are a real challenge. First over bare ice, and then over a 1-lane road through a forest with limited visibility. Once that's done, they have to cross a temporary bridge and then negotiate another steep mountain pass. Only then will the gold mine be in sight. If, that is, everything mostly goes smoothly. This part of the ice road is one of the most dangerous streets in the world. Water sprayed regularly transforms its surface into bare ice over and over again. Sounds crazy, but still better than the alternative, a thawing road full of potholes. The most minor malfunction here quickly becomes a fight for survival. If you have a breakdown here, you're on your own. There's always a creeping, freezing death lurking just ahead. Up to minus 35 degrees Celsius. Here, it's do or die. But for the time being, a fate worse than death has been avoided by this mega transport. The convoy's making good progress. The decisive mountain chain is already in sight. And yet, due to the natural road boundary, the carriageway here is only 9 meters wide. Oncoming vehicles have no chance to get out of the way. Worst case scenario, gridlock. To avoid this, Supervisor Valentinovich drives first. It's his task to stop oncoming vehicles in time.
I'm going into the bend now and slowing down. With these curves, I might not be able to see the oncoming traffic. That's why I drive slowly. The many trees make it even more difficult to see. In the curves, I really have to be careful to make it around the corner.
The road keeps getting more and more narrow. And on the radio, Dennis has heard other truckers in the opposite lane.
I'm coming through now. Have you stopped them?
Yes, they're waiting.
All right.
Made it. A simple hand signal lets the drivers know that another truck is coming.
Vanya, there are 2 tankers waiting for you.
But after the bottleneck, the next potential danger looms. A provisional bridge. Built from a few simple tree trunks stacked on top of each other with a little soil to fill in the gaps. It's a typically simple construction. For 138 tons, maybe too simple. Supervisor Valentinovich is trying to assess whether a crossing might be feasible at all.
The bridge could be damaged. Maybe there are already visible cracks. But no, it doesn't look like it. Nothing's crumbling, no fissures. Everything seems fine.
Nevertheless, the truckers have a queasy feeling. The moment of truth. First, they send Greenhorn Vanya across with his relatively lightweight 70-ton truck. He's taking it very slow and doesn't want to strain the construction by causing any more vibration than is absolutely necessary. Then it's Dennis's turn. His truck with the bulldozer weighs almost twice as much. The bridge seems to be holding. They say this simple structure can withstand a load of over 130 tons. Mission accomplished. Almost 1,000 kilometers through the icy Siberian landscape. A record-breaking mega transport. The truckers are now within reach of their destination. But the longer the transport takes, the more the Siberian winter gnaws at the stamina of both man and machine. Then, the next unscheduled stop. Ice Road driver Dennis felt something. In fact, another tire is losing pressure. It doesn't matter how much air Dennis and his team add, the tires have given up.
Looks like it's losing air. We only inflated it 185 kilometers ago, and now we already have 4 bar less.
With no spare, the only option is to inflate the tire to the maximum and just keep going.
We'll have to watch it on the move. We'll go on now, and then we'll have to keep checking it.
Keeping this wheel in service is now mission critical. If the air pressure drops too low, the tire will be compressed, making the rubber porous. If worst comes to worst, the tire can burst. Mega transport over. The transport team has no choice but to delay the problem as long as possible by pumping air back in kilometer by kilometer. But even though the gold mine seems close enough to touch, everyone suspects they will never make it to the finish line this way.
I was just watching the wheel in the bend. Now I'm going to check the pressure again. I probably have to pump it up. I think I need to check again. We're going to have to stop and check the tire again.
And it looks amazingly good. The tire, like the rest of the team, has been holding on somehow for 50 kilometers.
Everything looking good at first glance. It hasn't lost any air yet. We're moving on.
There are only a few kilometers left to go. Mega Transport and Gold Mine are separated by a single, all-decisive hurdle, the very last mountain pass. Dennis and his team not only have to unload the bulldozer yet again, the freight has to make its own way home.
We have to put on the snow chains now. The road is too slippery. It's become warmer in the past few days than we thought.
From now on, the bulldozer will cover the final decisive meters alone. Not on the road, just cross-country. It's the fastest way. The giant machine takes a virtually straight course and plows on no matter what might get in its way. This saves the team a decisive 2 hours, assuming the bulldozer makes it all the way. Meanwhile, the trucks put on the snow chains again and fight their way through the hardly recognizable road. 20 kilometers of pass, including deep snow and full of potholes, at temperatures that would kill anyone without protective clothing within minutes. The trucks make it. And finally, the freight arrives. Even if it takes a while at just 4 kilometers per hour.
I really hope this was the last time to unload and reload. Between here and the gold mine, the roads will be flat.
The convoy continues to drag itself towards its destination, still within the set time limit, but without any room for error. Nothing can go wrong now. A 1,000 kilometers of road, 80 hours of driving, hardly any sleep. Icy temperatures down to minus 45 degrees. And last but not least, 3 worn tires, 1 set of worn-out brakes, 3,000 liters of diesel. That's all behind them now. But despite all the adversity, and after 5 days of bitter cold, the convoy reaches its destination as planned, the gold mine.
Now we've arrived at the destination of our journey. From Magadan to Karkadon. My work is almost done.
The endlessly long journey through snow and ice will come to an end within the next hour. Somewhere in the middle of this Siberian no man's land, Dennis and his team have almost made it. Early in the morning, they can now not only see the gold mine, they can even feel and taste it. They've finally arrived. For the very last time, the bulldozer drives down the ramp of the mega transport and gets ready for its work in the mine.
I'm happy. In spite of all the difficulties, we have successfully delivered our load to its destination.
And not least because of these difficulties, Dennis and his team are proud. They can look forward to escaping the icy temperatures, happy and content. Now, they only have to make sure the mine's equipment manager is satisfied. He has high expectations of his brand new bulldozer, which costs more than €1 million.
It's a very powerful machine. We have to dig an extreme amount of gold out of the ground this summer, and only machines like this bulldozer can do it.
The gigantic bulldozer, including the freshly mounted shovel, is finally at its destination and will soon be ready to mine one of the world's most precious metals, gold. Thanks to our team and an incredible mega transport through the icy wilds of Siberia.